Yo, what is up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with my good friend Craig. How you doing, Craig?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
Doing fantastic. And thank you so much for joining us. No, it's a work week, but we got you for the afternoon slot.
Yes.
So
Yes. It's very easy for me to get out an hour or so early sometimes, so we can make it work.
I love that. Love that. So we got a Gym Leader Challenge tabletop stream for you today. And even though I'm going to be attending the Charlotte Regional Championships, I have been testing Gym Leader Challenge just way more than I have any right to be doing, despite considering I'm flying to regional championships next week. But I'm driven right now. Okay, I'm motivated.
These badges every single week, they are literally. I leave here Thursday night always upset because something happens. Last week I was up against Hunter in the finals. It was a small night, right? So I lost early, came back. Hunter was the last 3 out. I won. So I won in the finals, but still finished fourth.
Yes. So another 3-1 night,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
you've amassed quite a few 3-1 nights, I think, in your time playing GLC. And it's just like a 3-1 night, you're like, it's like the deck worked.
Mm-hmm.
We were there. We had 3 good games. Things went fantastic. And then one game where maybe it was like there's the deck didn't operate quite right. Maybe the prizes were bad. Maybe maybe you just hit a bad matchup. There's always something, right?
Oh yeah. Every single week, I feel like I find a new way. I feel like the Cleveland Browns. You know, I feel like I find a way to pull defeat from the jaws of victory every single week. Right? I think I've been in the finals now 8 times, and I have 1 badge to show for it. So it's fun, but it drives me every single week to go home and just hop on my exercise bike and start just tweaking these lists, man. It lives rent free forever.
It's fun. It's fun. I think I spent all weekend just motivated to work on my metal deck because I went 3-1 last week as well with metal. And I wasn't confident with my metal list last week going into it. I was more confident in Colorless or Dragon. But I was like, well, the only way I'm really going to, get more games in with metal is if I actually just send it in a league.
Full send,
and I just, and it might not be tournament ready, but that's fine. I got to get in the paint. So went out with metal, lost to John playing my psychic deck that I'd run with a couple weeks ago. And I was like, damn, that psychic deck's broken.
Oh, yeah.
But I have a lot of reps with that psychic deck. So I know every card in that list and why it's there and all of that. So I was like, I want to get to that place with a different type. Maybe, metal. So I went home and I started just brewing and trimming things out and tearing the whole deck apart, rebuilding it just from the ground up. And Craig, I think I've done it.
Oh, boy. I'm a little scared. It seems daunting.
Yes, I'm very excited about the place of my metal list and my colorless list right now. I've got a little bit of spice in my turbo colorless list as well. It's not just, it's turbo Snorlax, right? And that's kind of the theme of today's Gym Leader Challenge decks on my side of the table, is that I've got these kind of turbo basic decks that are leaning into Technical Machine Turbo Energize. I think this card is going to revolutionize Gym Leader Challenge.
I think when it's all said and done, that might end up being the best Technical Machine. I'm gonna put my 2 cents out there early.
I think so too. And it's crazy because this card, it doesn't see any play in Standard. And the Technical Machine Evolution at first seemed like that was going to be the card that revolutionized Gym Leader Challenge decks. But now, as I'm kind of playing more and more, you realize this Technical Machine Turbo Energize can just be so substantial in the early turns of the game and get a big attacker rolling. And then it's pretty easy to follow up with the next attacker after that first attacker gets going. But a lot of times in Gym Leader Challenge, getting that first attacker going is the most difficult part.
For sure. It's one of the biggest hills, and a lot of the times it's just everything is so fast. If you can get a guy powered up a whole turn early with 2 extra energy, a lot of dudes take 3 energy to attack, and you're going to be sailing.
And I feel like I remember, kind of talking about my water deck or my grass deck months ago. Probably close to a year ago at this point. And the tempo of those decks, and many decks in Gym Leader Challenge, Psychic included, just almost everything, is that you manually attach for your first knockout, right? You manually attack. Your first attacker, you're going 1, 2, turn 3, here we go, right?
Yep.
And by turn 3, you're attacking with somebody. But then if that attacker gets knocked out in return, you've got your board set up at this point, and you can just slam backup attackers again and again and again. With Technical Machine Turbo Energize, you are speeding that up a step. It's no longer, turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. It could be turn 1, Technical Machine Turbo Energize, turn 2.
I'm coming in
Here,
hot.
coming in hot, baby.
Yeah.
And being able to, to get that jump on the setup is absolutely huge, especially for decks that focus more on basic Pokemon and less on, heavy setup evolutions and things like that. So I'm really liking it in decks that are playing low to the ground, like my Colorless deck and my Metal deck, which focus on powering up big basic Pokemon and swinging with them and trying to go 2 for 1, right? And when I say 2 for 1, you want one of your single prizers to be able to take 2 prizes while only giving up 1 prize in return. And I think I've built the Metal deck to be able to do just that. And get some fat guys going fast and take big knockouts. The Turbo Colorless deck is similar in that regard, except instead of the big metal guys, you got Snorlax, you got Technical Machine Turbo Energize to get energy into play. I was trying slacking in this deck previously. Decided I'd rather just play Hex and attack with Snorlax instead. But I did feel like I needed a little bit of spice.
Oh, boy.
So I'm bringing Greedent along. And I think this card is schnasty and underrated in Turbo Colorless because you're already playing the Squovit.
Yeah, right.
It is a 1 energy attacker that can smack for 210 damage. I mean, Spill Out costs 2 colorless energy, but with a double colorless or a double turbo or a twin energy, that's a 1 energy attack. And with Bibarel, you're filling your hand to 5 guaranteed. So it is very easy to negotiate a 210 damage swing. It's definitely punishable, but I think that Greedent is a play that you can use at the end of the game when you just need to push for the win, and it can kind of save you from having to play, if you just don't have the Raihan or don't have a Mela or don't have the 3 energy attack, because that's one of my biggest beefs with the Colorless deck is that every attack. Oh yeah, I've got a little extra spice too.
Oh my gosh.
I think. Now we started seeing some Miraidon EX decks in Standard playing Energy Sticker. Some. I maintained early on when Turbo Patch was first revealed, I was like, that card's not bad. And
Okay.
It didn't see any play. All right, I thought that it would see play. It didn't see any play. I was, coming off of a Max Elixir format where people just played that card.
It's fair.
And even if it didn't hit, it's fine. You play 4 of them, and you just kind of and the incremental energies that you get over the course of the game just really matter.
Mm-hmm.
I think that potentially with your gigantic basic Pokemon that are not getting 1-hit KO'd, your Snorlaxes, your Heatrans, your Zamazentas, it's possible that you could squeeze a Turbo Patch or an Energy Sticker into your deck, and just getting that bonus attachment in the middle of the game can make all the difference. Why set up a setup Pokemon if you could just flip a heads?
Pop. I mean, I think it's better. I mean, I was just saying before that I was putting, not in this one, but in my spread landing list, I started, I just kind of fit in Electric Generator. It's not the same since you have to, draw into them. But, if you've got an extra slot, which is kind of surprising at this point with how tight these lists can be. But, I've been wondering how long it was going to be before we saw a Greedent pop up in one of these decks, and I was hoping it wasn't going to be against you. But if there was anyone else, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, the Greedent is... and that's another thing about the Colorless deck is that sometimes it can be hard to push over 200.
Yeah.
And, if you're up against Wailord, you have to have the powerful Colorless on the Snorlax, right? And just hitting that 200 number can just not happen, right? And having to stream 2-3 energy attackers back to back to like deal with a Wailord or anything else with over 200 hit points. I mean, it could be a Torterra. It could be anything, right?
Yeah. Something with Luxury's Cape.
That freaking stinks. I don't want to do that. That's where Greedent comes. It just, bam.
Yep.
And
Out of nowhere.
just deal with it. And the thing is that you've got Bibarel and you've got Oranguru. So even if your opponent's like, all right, gust your Bibarel, knock it out, you still got Oranguru to fill to 3 after the fact. So it's not like you're going to be stuck with a 0 card hand after the Greedent. So
It's true.
that's the spice that I've got for today. I've also got my vanilla water and my vanilla grass deck, which I haven't made videos on yet. I kind of looking back through the GLC content that I've made. I just made my toxic psychic build. I just made my dragon build. So I'd like to, kind of going through the list and saying like, all right, which list do I want to like re-update, make videos for, kind of show off the strategies. And today I've got colorless metal, grass, and water on the table, and I'd be happy with any of those. So, Craig, what you got on the table for us? I think you said something about a turbo or a dark deck, or I see a Morpeko over there. What you got?
We got, I don't know, I'm trying a few different things in this. Dark and I haven't gotten along very often, right? So I tried, this was the deck this week that I said, I'm going to go down and strip this down to the base and build it right back up. So I know we were talking a couple weeks ago about considering Dark more like fighting, where you need to just play a lot of supporters. And I think that kind of is a little bit more the philosophy I was going for here. I tried adding, I have Turbo Technical Machine, Turbo Energize in here just as another potential way to power up Guzzlord really quickly. Because if you can Turbo Energize to Guzzlord, and if you have, one of your double energies, you're sailing. And then I think I also have in here, I have the Sableye, the Excavate Sableyes for a little bit of extra digging. And then, where'd he go? I've got the Morpeko because with no energy attached, he has no retreat cost. So worst case, it's a free retreater. Best case, you have 2 darkness energy. You do energize your wheel for 70, kind of get some chip damage on an opponent. And then you move 2 energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. So you can put the 2 on the Morpeko, and then you can dump those energies back to Guzzlord. And then you're golden from there either. And then in addition, I have the Galarian Zigzagoon in here with a scoop up net also. Trying to get, I know the Galarian Moltres is a good late game attacker, but if you start that Moltres early, you're not really going to be in a good spot. So I was thinking with Zigzagoon's Headbutt Tantrum ability, you get an extra ping, which really kind of helps out Guzzlord's math at 120 to get to those 130 guys a lot of the time. And I think that would be something that's a little bit interesting to try and dig a little bit for some extra damage, because I've got, there's cards in here for like not Devoured Field. I have Reverse Valley. Since at the time there were a lot of people playing Dragon, so I was like, okay, I'll go with the Reverse Valley card for which does 10 extra damage for your dark Pokemon. And
what's the other? What's the other thing on there, Craig?
The other side says that the opponent's metal Pokemon take 10 less damage.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh.
Hey, what are you gonna do? For a while, you had a lot of dragons coming out on Thursday nights. Now, all of a sudden, we got some metals. But I think this one is one that I haven't had a lot of luck with. I either brick or I go 2/2/2 with Guzzlord. So, kind of hot or cold. But I'm curious to see how that one goes. And then I've got my regular water and just Tinkaton Psychic lists. I ended up taking these Celebrations Mew out and just going back to regular Benchberry Mew and trying to get an extra card in. And then I've got just kind of a regular Raikou build Lightning. I do have a little bit of spice in here as well. I tried trying the Zeraora, get one guy that can hit a little bit bigger because I decided the Luxray that comes in. I don't remember his ability, but the one that comes in when you're behind on prizes.
Uh-huh.
I'm sprinting that guy away all the time because you take an early knockout with Zapdos, and then I'm never getting him into play.
It's because lightning stay winning.
Yeah, right. So my thought process was, this guy, I tried him once, this Explosiveness Luxray, when he came out on Crown Zenith. I brought him 1 week, and he's one of those ones where if you start him in your opening hand, you can place him face down as your active Pokemon. So I opened him 3 games out of 4 that night, and I said, okay, that's all the luck he's going to have right there. I took him back out because the new Luxray came out, and then I haven't looked back since. So I think this is an unexplored opportunity. If you can get lucky enough to open him in the beginning, he does Seeking Fang for 50 for a colorless energy, and then I search my deck for 2 trainer cards, reveal them, put them in my hand. He's got 160 HP and a free retreat as well. So like, if I start him, I think that'd be really good. If not, well, he's sprint fodder anyways. But otherwise, it's just a very straightforward Raikou build with let's see, Rainbow Brush is one of my favorite cards in here. So I play an extra grass and metal basic. So that way, the Rainbow Brush, you can choose an energy card, attach to one of your Pokemon, search your deck for a basic energy card, and switch it with that card, and then shuffle the first one back into your deck.
And the gold Rainbow Brush, dude, it's so sick.
It's so pretty. Look at all those colors. Full commit. Come on. But it puts me into a position to where it's like, okay, if I have to attach like counter energy early instead of sprinting it away, I can attach it early and then Rainbow Brush it away to get the right card at the time I need it.
Yeah, that's super cool. I like the idea of the Rainbow Brush because, I mean, in order to power up a Raikou in one turn, the Dynamotor can get the lightning. You can attach, a grass or something like that. But sometimes you like have Raikou on the bench like a turn before or something, and you Dynamotor to it, and then you're like, I still can't attack with Raikou next turn because it's got a lightning. And if I Dynamotor another lightning and then attach from hand like the grass or the metal, that's still not the required. You need 3 different types of energy. So being able to kind of fix with the Rainbow Brush is really cool and can allow you to make that Raikou play even when maybe you weren't previously in a board state to be able to pull that off. It can make it happen out of nowhere, which I think is really exciting. Same with the Raihan plays with the amazing Raikou. Now, Craig, I am very excited about my metal deck. I've been itching to play it and show it off. I think this deck is a total dream. Play whatever deck you think you have the best chance of beating the metal deck with.
Whatever deck.
Whatever deck, yes.
Dang. Okay, probably not grass, right? And honestly, if you've got all these big dudes, I don't think lightning's going to be the play either. I think it's just going to have to be water.
All right, water. And I think water is a fair bet, right? You can one-hit KO things. You do a lot of damage. That makes sense. I tested this against fire, and if I've got the coating metal and a weakness guard energy in it, I should beat fire decks just about every time. And I'm skimping on the weakness guard energy right now, but I do have a coating metal in here. If you've got the two weakness guard energies, though, and note I'm not playing Metal Frying Pan, which turns off your weakness, because everybody plays Field Blower. So what the heck's the point? Like, they're just gonna Field Blower. You got to play the special energies, right? Because they're not jamming the Enhanced Hammer in there yet.
Man, that's my card 61 in most of my decks. I'm telling you.
Everybody finds room for the Field Blower, so you expect that. But when you've got the two special energies to protect against fire, that makes things really tough. Even if they play one Enhanced Hammer, they still got to deal with another one. So it's tough. It's tough. Anyways, you got Enhanced Hammered in Portland, and you were probably playing Dragon, right? So that was tough. That's what I'm saying. People aren't playing Enhanced Hammer. I got Enhanced Hammer in my Psychic deck. In both of my Psychic decks, I play Enhanced Hammer because I don't know. You got a lot of draw power. You're fine.
Yeah. It's so good. I do need to bring that one out more often than not. And unfortunately, I find myself just being like, well, for the most part, you can live with them having one of the more simple special energies. I think some of the times you run into, like if I'm seeing a lot of dragon come, it's going to come back out.
Right, because you want that double dragon gone.
Yeah,
right,
right, for sure. But like, since we had so much water for so long, there's a lot of just basic energy in those decks. I mean, like splashes in there, but at the end of the day, it's like calculated risk.
Exactly.
Oops.
Now this is a fun build for me. The metal deck, it's different than a lot of other decks that I've constructed in Gym Leader Challenge format. It doesn't play a single Bridget or Gloria.
Man, I was doing
man.
the opposite. I'm putting Gloria and Bridget back in all my decks.
Almost all my decks I am, but in this particular build, I just kind of am saying that I don't need it, and we've got other options for setting up that hopefully work out. Okay, let's get set up here. See if maybe we need a little bit more room on the board. Cool.
Dang, you've been talking up this metal list so long, that prediction is a little biased. Just wait, everybody. Just wait. Your payoff's not going to be that big either.
Would you like heads or tails?
Tails.
It is tails.
I will go second.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Good luck.
You as well.
Draw. I've got a fine opening hand. No supporters, but some energy, a rev of room, and an escape board. But I open the strongest Pokemon. I open the strongest opener in the deck, Jirachi with the Stellar Wish ability. So if I can find a Battle VIP pass off of this Stellar Wish, then we'd really be cooking. Let's take a look. It's fine. Off Stellar Wish, I find Artisan. Jirachi goes to sleep. And I'll use Artisan to search my deck for a basic Pokemon and put it straight onto my bench. I see my Varoom is in the deck, and Bronzor, Magearna, Bronzong. Got the nice Phantom Forces pre-release promo. Want to check for Big Zamzam, Heatran. Oh yeah, baby. We're cooking. I've got the Rev of Room in my hand, and I definitely just want to set that up. So with Artisan, I'll get Varoom, which goes to my bench. And this is one of the reasons why I cut Bridget and Gloria. I'm playing more ways to search out my basic Pokemon, like the Artisan. And the hope is that I just won't miss those setup supporters too much with more Pokemon search like Artisan in the deck. Okay. Bench Celesteela. Attach a fire energy from my hand to Celesteela. And pass to you.
All right.
See if I wake up. And I do.
All right. Draw for turn. I will Artisan myself since you gave me that wonderful card. And see what we got. We got Whalmer and Remoraid, Wailord, and Frostmoth. Arctivax and Drizzile here. Lapras. The Basculin. Snom. Inteleon. Excalibur, Kyogre, and Octillery. So, I have Bridget in my hand, so I'm pretty much getting all my dudes out right now. The question is, which ones? I have Frigibax and Sobble already in my hand, so they're coming down. Don't need this Basculin now that I've got all those guys coming. See, I said Frostmoth's in the deck, so we're probably going to just get Remoraid first off the Artisan. I will bench Frigibax, bench Sobble, play Bridget. Then off the Bridget, I can get 3, but I only have space for 2. So I'm going to find, let's see, probably Snom seems like a good option. Just so if you somehow power up something really quickly, I'm okay. If you take out the knockout on Frigibax or Snom. The other option is probably want another attacker, since this Wishy-Washy is nice, but that 130, it's probably not taking a lot of knockouts against your big guys. So I'm probably going to go for Whalmer and Snom. Where is he at? Whalmer and Snom off the Bridget to fill my bench.
It's a beautiful looking bench.
Yeah, you know what? This is kind of the thinking that brought me back to Bridget and Gloria, because this would have taken 3 or 5 turns, because I cut Brooklet Hill from this list for
I think that's fair.
the extra one. Plus, everyone else is playing the artisans themselves, so I'm okay. I will attach water energy to Wishy-Washy and pass back to you.
Drop. Okay. Town map off the top. Let's flip those prize cards over. And unfortunately, my other fire energy is prized, but that's okay. I see it now. And then I'll use Artisan. I think I'd like to get, in order to launch an attack this turn, I would need to hit my Metal Saucer. That's probably not happening. So with Artisan, I'll grab Magirna. Just go straight to my bench. Evolve Varoom into Revavroom. Cards in him?
3.
3. Okay. Yeah. Attach a skateboard to Jirachi, and I'll use Rumbling Engine to discard a metal energy from my hand and draw 4 cards. Okay. Attach shield energy to Magirna and Colress.
It's a big Colress.
It is. Fat Colress. Shuffle draw 8. Would like to find my Bronzor. That would be great. I could find Technical Machine Turbo Energize. I would also be okay with that. And then with the Stellar Wish after the Colress, I'm going to get to see a lot of cards. Colress for 8. Oof. Not a whole lot there, actually. So I'll Stellar Wish. Ah. And now I have a choice to make. I've got either Level Ball to set up my Bronzor, or I've got Technical Machine Turbo Energize. And I think it's got to just be Bronzor. Yep. take Level Ball and play it to get Bronzor out of my deck. Put that onto my bench. And this hand is okay. It's fine, really. Could be stronger. I'm deciding if I want to overhaul or not. Shuffle draw 6. And I think I'll just hang tight. That's okay. I'll pass to you.
All right. Jirachi never stays asleep. Draw for turn. Oh. Level Ball off the top makes things pretty interesting, actually. I have Ultra Ball, Water, Rare Candy anyways, so my goal was to throw away whatever I had with the top deck to go get Drizzile and then Drizzile for some more cards, but Level Ball, I can just search him out. So we'll do that. We'll Level Ball. Let's see, I'm going to probably check Ball Guys in the deck. I'm probably going to get Ball Guy off of this Drizzile so that I can get a few other cards. However, the other balls, it looks like, might not be here.
Yo, thank you, Urzadeh, for that raid. Hopefully you're doing well, and welcome everybody from Urzadeh's channel. Playing some Tabletop Gym Leader Challenge today.
Okay. We got 3 targets we can get off the Ball Guy, so that's probably good, because I can still get... I have Ultra Ball in hand already, and I can use the Nest Ball and the Hisuian Heavy Ball as discard fodder for that. So that's fine. So I will get... Where's he at? Drizzile off Level Ball. Evolve Sobble into Drizzile and use Shady Dealings. Off of Shady Dealings, I will get Ball Guy for Dive Ball, Nest Ball, and Hisuian Heavy Ball. I'm going to use most of these quite quickly. So I will start with Ultra Ball, Hisuian Heavy Ball, and Nest Ball away for Baxcalibur. Rare Candy for D-Bax into Baxcalibur. Play Dive Ball. Looking for Octillery. Get Octillery off Dive Ball and evolve Remoraid into Octillery. And then we're going to shuffle up and try and start drawing cards here. I will Super Cold an energy to Wishy Washy and then Abyssal Hand for 5. All right. Off of the Abyssal Hand to 5, I got Silent Lab, 2 Water Energy Marnie, and Basculin. It's not doing a whole lot for me outside of... I mean, I can get the attack with the energy, which is what I was looking for. But the Silent Lab bump isn't really going to do a whole lot if I'm taking Jirachi down. It would remove the Artisan from play for Andrew here, but... I mean, I guess if your only attacker right now is the Celesteela, I might still go with that. And it'll turn off Wishy Washy's scatter ability. So if I take damage next turn, it won't just have to float away. So I will play Silent Lab. And Super Cold, another energy to Wishy-Washy. Super Cold and energy to the Whalmer. And Hydro Splash for the knockout.
Okay, Jirachi goes down. That was a very strong turn 2 there.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good. Very cool. A lot of pressure. That's okay. Promote Magearna and draw. All right. I would really like to set up some other attackers right now. Celesteal is obviously better in the middle of the game. It is possible to get 5 energy on this thing, and I have done that. So which is why it's got the fire on it right now, because I could very easily push to 5 at some point in this game. Just have to decide if that's what I want to try and do. Okay. This is a tough call. Rescue Stretcher, Jirachi. Floatstone to Magearna. Bench Jirachi. And retreat into Jirachi. And I'll Stellar Wish. Ah, never mind. Please let me rewind all of that.
Yes, that's fine.
Yes.
I was like, wait a minute.
Silent Lab. Ah. All right.
Good card.
Good card. Good card. All right. I think we're going to go with a more straightforward play then. Play Pokegear. And take Hex Maniac.
Oh, no. Celesteal is attacks if the total number of prizes are 6 less. Or 6, right?
Total number 6, yes.
Okay.
Both me and you have to be at 6. Bench Heatran. Attach Bravery Charm to Heatran. Hand's a little jammed right now, which is not super great. That's okay. Floatstone to Bronzor. I could... I like that play. All right. Play Raihan. Is that what I want to do? This is a really tough turn, actually. Okay, I think I've got... what I want to do. Okay. Not going to Raihan, not going to do any of that. I think I just want to Guzma the Baxcalibur. Eesh! It's fine. Or the Whalmer. Either of those is really good. God. Okay. Because if I Raihan, then I take the energy out of my discard pile. And then I could go get Ultra Ball. I kind of just have to trust the deck. Fine. I'm playing Raihan. Nope. Yep. Raihan. I could Raihan for Escape Rope, and then I can knock out whoever you send my way. It's also something, but then I'm not. Then I'm like, my hand's jammed. Yeah, all right. I'm going to Guzma. I'll use Guzma and bring up Baxcalibur. Attach Metal Energy to Magearna. Retreats. And I'm okay with this board state. This is fine. And then wind-up cannon with weakness. That does like 220 damage.
220.
I'll take the fire energy off the prizes.
All right. Not gonna lie, I forgot Excalibur was weak to metal. That's okay. I'll promote Wishy Washy and draw. Water energy is kind of helpful. I can at least start manually attaching to Whalmer and deal with that problem later. I know you just pulled the fire energy from your prizes, so I'm going to attach water to Whalmer and then Marnie.
All right. I get 4, you get 5.
Yep. Okay. Let's start. I will bench the Kyogre. Off of that Marnie, I found not a whole lot. I mean, Floatstone, Escape Rope as well, and then Chaotic Swell. It's not really anything I want to be putting into play. I mean, the Floatstone I could add, but Andrew's Field Blower is still alive, so it's not critical quite yet. Though I could start thinning my hand down a little bit, push the Escape Rope to push the Magearna out of the active, and maybe get something up, at least chip damage on some of his bigger basic guys over there if he pushes one of those, or take out Bronzor, or a lot of chip damage on the Revavroom. I kind of like that play because then I can just start. I'm not too worried about this Magearna yet. 110. Pretty sure most of these guys aren't weak to metal anymore. I know Snom is, but you're taking that one anyways if he goes up. So I think I'll start with Escape Rope. Okay. Could promote the Snom and put the Floatstone on it, because having Floatstone on Frostmoth's very nice, but I think we'll do that. We'll promote Snom. Say I need to find the Frostmoth anyways. Attach Floatstone to Snom and Abyssal Hand for 3. Okay, no Frostmoth, but that's okay. Lots of energy that I have to manually work to attach here. But that's okay. I think right now the Celesteela's likely stuck unless Andrew has a switch off of that Marnie. So I think I'm okay with my spot as it is. I'll free retreat and come up with the Wishy Washy and Hydro Splash for 10 short.
Yep, 130. And it's one of the reasons I like Celesteela. It's just fat. Just a fat, sometimes low maintenance attacker. I like the fat guys in the metal deck. Draw. Okay. It's a good card to find. Like that. Evolve Bronzor into Bronzong. And I've got Arven. So I can just kind of get things rolling. I could play an Escape Rope, move the Celesteela. I could also just use the Celesteela as a sack, turbo energize TM, get my board ready to go, and then kind of like aggress this next turn. And I feel like that's probably the direction that I want to go. So I think I'm going to do that. Play Arven. And with Arven, I'll get Technical Machine, Turbo Energize. And I get one more card. I've got that. I want that. And this is really going to just set me up for the whole rest of the game, which I'm very excited about. I think at this point, I'm brilliant. With Arven, I'll get Technical Machine, Turbo Energize, and Battle VIP Pass.
Interesting choice mid-game.
I will quick ball Battle VIP Pass
Good choice mid-game.
and fail it.
Gonna draw cards with Rev Room.
That's right. At this point, I'm really hoping that I can draw into my Parallel City. That'd be great.
Depends what side of the table you're sitting on.
Yes. Okay. Attach Technical Machine Turbo Energized to Celesteela, bench Zamazenta, and Rumbling Engine, discard Coating Metal Energy to draw 6. Unfortunately, no parallel there, but that's okay. Use Bronzong's Metal Link's ability to accelerate an energy from my discard pile to Zamazenta. Attach Metal Energy from hand for turn to Zamazenta. And then Technical Machine Turbo Energize. Search my deck for 2 basic energy and attach them to my bench Pokemon in any way I like. And now I'm feeling revved up and ready to roll.
All of a sudden, we're at very interesting positions again. I will draw for turn. And I think now, with Andrew's board being completely filled, I'm not really worried about any more basic abilities on his side of this, the board. Jirachi coming back probably is not going to be something to worry about at this point of the game. So I'm going to just bump my own Silent Lab with Chaotic Swell. That way, should Andrew find Parallel City at any point, it would have to you'd have to Field Blower away Swell. So I kind of like that. Okay. So I got Super Rod off the top of the deck. So I could Super Rod back in the Frigibax and Baxcalibur. Otherwise, this hand is kind of jammed. I have Tate and Liza where I could shuffle draw some cards. And maybe I'll be able to play some of those and then Abyssal Hand later. Or I can Super Rod and play Splash Energy to get 2 more cards now and then see if I can find something better there. Maybe like Boss. Boss would be kind of nice. I'm not too worried about Celesteela yet. But I'm okay if I am able to Boss onto the Heatran or something like that to get some of that damage on there since these guys are big. So I think I'll start with attach Splash Energy to Whalmer. Don't know if I want to Super Rod early since I only have the Frigibax and Baxcalibur down. But I don't have Frostmoth up yet, so play Super Rod. I'll shuffle back in Frigibax, Baxcalibur. They are going to be both of the 2 cards that I pull off of the Abyssal Hand.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'll be immediately punished by my own choices. All right. I will Abyssal Hand for 2. Got one of them. But I also got the Wailord, so I'm okay with that. Evolve Wailmer into Wailord and Tate and Liza, shuffle draw 5. Just gonna see 5 new cards. Get something else going, because Wishy-Washy can take this knockout here. But I'm staring down a 190 HP Heatran and Zamazenta, who's coming up with a 220 Retaliate, most likely next turn. The nice thing though is Wailord, as long as I don't get Guzmud or Boss, Wailord can live a Heatran hit if that comes up the following turn. So I get 5. 5. Okay, well there's Frigibax. The Field Blower is kind of nice because I can get rid of that Bravery Charm and the Float Stone. So I think I'll do that, make you find more tools. Field Blower away Float Stone and Bravery Charm. Attach Air Balloon to Octillery. And Hydro Splash for the knockout.
Okay, Celesteela goes down. Craig goes to 4 prizes remaining. And I need to deal with the Wishy-Washy. So, promote Magearna and draw. Okay. That is tough. For sure. The Chaotic Swell is definitely annoying right now as it's kind of blocking my training courts, which I would love to use to get an energy back right now. So I'll play the training court to bump the swell, and training court gets discarded. Play Nest Ball. And just kind of thinking through my options. Pretty much have to rip this rod right now and research. I don't want to get rid of this hex, but that's fine. It's going to be worth it in the long run. I'll fail the Nest Ball. Play Super Rod to shuffle Fire Energy, Celesteela, and just those 2 back into the deck. And then play Professor's Research, discard my hand, and draw 7 cards. It's fine. Attach Metal Energy from my hand to Zamazenta and retreat Magearna into Zamazenta. Use Bronzong's Metal Link's ability to accelerate an energy to Heatran. I'm kind of thinking, what cards here are really going to be the difference makers for these next couple turns. Okay. It's fine. Woo! Bench Celesteela. And retaliate for 220 damage.
Wishy-Washy goes down.
And then the prize here is a tough choice for me. I think I just want guaranteed energy. Cape Toughness also very good. But the energy seems really, really strong. So I'll take Earthen Vessel.
Okay. I'll promote Octillery and draw. Inteleon off the top solves a lot of my problems. I did get Irida off the prizes, but this turn was going to be Irida for Inteleon. But getting the Inteleon there actually really kind of speeds things up. I'll start by benching Frigibax. And then Inteleon evolve Drizzile into Inteleon and use Shady Dealings. Now, off this Shady Dealings, I'm really looking for... I just need more energy, and I need Frostmoth, is really what I want. So I think Evolution Incense is prized, so I have no item card searches for Frostmoth, even though it was the next card on the top of my deck. But I do have this nice Lost City card that I might like to come into play here. I can get Bucket and Lost City off of Inteleon, get rid of this Zamazenta for sure, because I can tank... Wailord can tank a hit from most of these metal guys, except that Zamazenta. So getting the bucket and the Lost City seem like it might be advantageous for me, and then I can just use Irida to search out Frostmoth, and then maybe even just Professor's Letter to try and just thin the rest of the energy out of my deck. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So off of Inteleon, I will get Capacious Bucket and Lost City. Put those into my hand. Do have Guzma, but I really want to get rid of that Zamazenta, so I'm okay with it being in the active. Play Irida for Frostmoth and Professor's Letter. Play Bucket, Capacious Bucket, and Professor's Letter for 4 water energy. Okay. Whoop. Runaway card. We're not going to be going back in now, so we'll shuffle up. Evolve Snom into Frostmoth. Ice Dance and energy to Wailord. And then realistically, I don't want to overcommit energy to this Kyogre. But I kind of want to try and get all this energy dumped out just in case I were to get Frostmoth, Guzma, or Bost or something like this next turn, so that I don't have an energy accelerator right away. Cape of Toughness is still in the prizes, and Bravery Charm is down. Fighting Fury Belt probably still alive. So 180 would be the target on that Heatran coming up next turn. With 4 energy on my Wailord, I have 170. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to dump one of these to him just a little early. Ice Dance to Wailord. And then can Ice Dance these other 2 energy to Kyogre. But with a Guzma in hand next turn, I can also just dump them to Inteleon, worst case, and take something out that way. So I think I'll Ice Dance 2 to Inteleon, play Lost City, and then Abyssal Hand for 3. Okay. Off those, I found another basic water energy, so I think at this point I'm okay to put 1 Ice Dance, 1 energy onto Kyogre, and then free retreat off the air balloon and come in with a big Wailord for Hydro Pump for a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's well, you're doing 200 and let's see, 4 times 5, right? Yeah, 210. 210 minus 30. You're doing 180 damage. That Zamazenta is toast and goes to the Lost Zone. I'm not gonna lie, Craig, that is extremely problematic. I'm not loving that. Yeah, that's kind of the guy. You weren't supposed to do that, man.
That's why Lost City's in the deck.
Yeah, but what about my ace? You weren't supposed to take out my ace, bro. It's the only guy that knocks out Wailord. This is tough, but it's okay. Maybe we can fight our way out of this one. It's down, but I'm not out. Let's see. So you're doing 210 damage. That's a lot of damage. Yep. And you've got a reasonably sized hand. Yep. There's no way around it. The Wailord's got to go down. Definitely. Okay. Promote Heatran and draw. Play Earthen Vessel. Let's see what I got going on in my deck. Okay. It's not a lot. Yeah, I think this Wailord might just be gassing me out. That is tough, but that's okay. It's okay. All right. Earthen Vessel and I'll fail it. Yeah, I really wanted the Parallel City last turn. That's okay. Let's see. Use Rumbling Engine to discard Metal Energy and draw 3.
Is it to 6?
Oh, what am I doing? Draw 2. All right. Raihan was in my hand. Those 3 were on the top of the deck. Okay. I'll use Rumbling Engine to discard an energy from my hand and draw 2. And... That's, I need to deal with the Wailord. Have to. Play Raihan to attach Metal Energy from my discard pile to Celesteela. And I'll get Parallel City. And I just feel like I have to play it at this point.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think honestly, that... Is my field blower down? It is. So I think that's all 3 of my Stadia. And that Parallels live in the rest of the game. So makes it tough. That makes it really tough. Not a lot of cards left, so I think I can let the Octillery go down. Oh, man. We'll send Frigibacks as well. That's fine.
Okay. And then we'll go Metal Lynx to Celesteela and Metal Saucer to Celesteela. And Iron Hammer for 160 damage.
All right. It's a lot of damage. Draw. Interesting. Hex off the top of the deck. It's actually not terrible for me because I can Colorless, but there's not a lot of cards left in my deck, so Colorlessing for 7 actually might be too much with 3 prizes remaining. I will be taking the knockout on this Heatran, but that Celesteela is probably going to be coming up to take the return knockout now. Unless Andrew does have Enhanced Hammer in that deck, Wailord will be coming back to my hand with the Splash Energy. So I think it's not a terrible position to be in right now. I could Hex, though, and take the knockout. That might... Well, actually, if I use Hex, it doesn't matter because Celesteela can attack for 1 Metal Energy next turn without taking that knockout. So, could be a Guzma angle. No, I think I just got to take the Heatran out. Don't overthink it. Just in case. Play Hex Maniac. And Hydro Pump for the knockout.
Heatran goes down. All right, no abilities. Promote. This is tough. This is tough. It is tough out here. That's fine. We're going to promote. If I promote Magearna, it's hoping for a top deck. If I promote Celesteela, it's still hoping for a specific top deck. I think it's promote Magearna. All right. Promote Magearna and draw. Okay. That's fine. I think it's... bench Cabalion versus Seeker for Hex Maniac. Retreat Magearna into Celesteela. Play Hex Maniac and Moonraker for 160 damage in the knockouts. I'll take the Metal Energy off of my prizes.
Okay. Thanks to Splash Energy, Wailord will go back to my hand. And I'll promote Frostmoth and draw. Now I'm in an interesting position here. I have Guzma and teammates in hand. I can just Guzma up, honestly, probably the Cabalion, and take the knockout with the Inteleon, and worst case, ping the 20 damage onto the Celesteela. And then next turn, if he goes down, worry about powering up somebody else then. And I think that's probably just the best course of action at this point. I'll check my deck, though. Play Evolution Incense. Got Nessa and Superior Energy Retrieval are in the deck. Everything else, though, can kind of stay there. I don't need any of those cards. I would love the Nessa and Superior next turn, since Hex kind of slows me down. I had teammates play for the Superior lined up, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to be happening. And I don't honestly want to rebench the Whalmer because that's going to potentially give me a boss stall lose con. So I think you got to actually read what the Cabalion second attack is. Guzma Cabalion.
Okay.
Bring up Inteleon. And Aqua Bullet, do 120 to Cabalion for the knockout, and 20 to Celesteela.
Okay. Promote Magearna. And draw for turn. Okay. Oh, baby. There's a route. There is a route here. It's there's a lot going on with it, but it exists, which is the important part. Let's attach Fire Energy to Celesteela and Rumbling Engine to draw 3. Trainer's Mail. Take the Escape Rope. Cut if you like.
You're good.
Metal Links.
That's a lot of energy.
I told you I could get to 5. Escape rope. I still need one very specific card that unfortunately is in these bottom 4. Okay. Ultra Ball. And fail it. N.
All right.
You're good.
You are as well.
I missed the Fighting Fury belt, which I needed to survive the Intellion. So I got Moonraker for knockout. Take the cape.
Promote Inteleon, draw, and Aqua Bullet for the knockout.
That was so close, dude. So close. The final card of my deck. No. I'm curious if I would have been able to run it all away because I had Lysander. I don't know. I guess I'm taking the hit from Inteleon, so I need you to not power up another attacker.
Well, and my top deck off the end was Lapras, and then my top deck for turn was N. So I'm like, well, okay, guess we're gonna go for one more card. But
yeah, that was definitely a close game. You really pushed the resources in this deck, and I felt like we got to see kind of the best of the water deck there. I mean, you popped off, turn 2 attack.
If only you could do this on Thursday nights, man. It's Thursday afternoon, and I think I'm pulling the luck out too early.
Yeah, that was amazing for sure. I wanted to end at the end of the game there to limit Craig's hand. Craig had a big hand.
Oh yeah, I had
have
teammates.
to assume.
I
have to assume that he was going to be able to respond there. And I knew I had the Fighting Fury belt in my deck, so I was like, all right, I just thinned the deck as much as possible and to 1, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like he has to rip the Nessa off the end of 1.
Yeah.
Because Superior Energy Retrieval's not going to do it.
Right.
I mean, because you're only going to have 1 card in hand, right?
Just wait 2 more turns.
Yeah, exactly. And I still had N and Iono in my hand, so I was going to be able to play back-to-back hand disruptions if I wanted to. I had Lysander, so I had some options there at the end. But loss owning I'm so glad we got to see that happen because that's such a clutch strategy against these kind of ace attackers like Zamazenta.
Yeah, or Snorlax and Colorless, right? Like I think that was the thought was, worst case, okay, I go up with Kyogre, snipe something on the bench, you boss Frostmoth, that's fine. I'll have Baxcalibur built up another turn or 2 if it's not already. So I'm okay with the other side of the double-edged sword, right? Like it's very much a risky play. But in situations like this, you could see because you were going to be able to recycle that Zamazenta probably a lot more.
Oh yeah.
So getting rid of him, the guy who can take out the Wailord, that was really what I needed to happen. So that top deck of the Inteleon saved me an extra card, and also then ended up letting me get the energy onto Inteleon the turn early when you hexed before you hexed.
Right.
So that actually was huge.
Yeah, that was a really good game. I think I did. Did I hit myself? Yeah, no, we're going to run it back for sure. No, I ain't letting that fly. I'm going to go second, and I'm going to get the turn 2 attack this game. We're going to see how it feels, all right?
Hey.
Yeah.
You know what? I got one big win in. I'm not about to say that it's going to happen twice, but everybody who was hating on me in the beginning of that bet,
they got paid. They got paid for sure.
Yeah.
I felt like I was a little step slow in that game. I know this deck is capable of more than that. So in this next one, we'll see if I can pop off with a speedier start. I am happy with the deck's resilience, though. It did kind of put up, and it had a shot there at the end, even though I was dealing with some pretty tough things going on. So that was a fine display, I think, from the metal deck. It definitely did some stuff that I wanted it to do, so that was good. And I think maybe there's some routes I could have taken that might have helped me there. Maybe I didn't pilot it perfectly, but this next game, we're locked in.
Brush it off.
I'll go second.
All right. Do you have a basic?
I do not.
Neither do I.
Hey.
I do have Bridget. Oh, that would have been great.
Yeah, the Celesteela is kind of funny, but it's also, it has the opportunity to be a low maintenance attacker in the middle of the game, which is something that this deck desperately wants, just because it can allow you to, in the middle of the game, you can just go like, all right, I'm going to do 160 with my Celesteela, and then Metal Links to somebody on the bench, and then that kind of allows you to get to that 3 next turn with the Metal Links attached, and then you're kind of golden. With Raihan, Max Elixir, Metal Saucer, I mean, there's ways to get ramped up, but any pressure you can take off your deck to have to load up another 3 energy attacker is like a welcome card in this deck, since it is a mostly just a big basic deck.
I really like the Celesteela, honestly. I think it's fun. I love the Ultra Beast cards. Most of them have some sort of odd, mechanic. I know in the video game all of their stats are based on prime numbers or something like that. They're all just kind of like little odd Pokemon. So I really like those guys.
I was thinking about putting Beast Ring in the deck.
That would be crazy.
Well, yeah, and then you just to juice the guy. But then I need like another way to get energy back into the deck, probably like an energy recycler or something.
Yeah.
Again,
boom. I got a lot of energy over here though.
Generally, Gym Leader Challenge, we do like best of 1, but that was a good game, so let's run it back. And I feel like it's a good matchup, too.
Yeah.
Like both decks really have a shot, so. I'm going to see if I can't. I might want to put a Pal Pad in my deck, too. And there's so many things I feel like I'm kind of like right on the edge of where I want to be with this deck. There's some small tweaks that I feel like I'm still kind of figuring out.
Mm-hmm. I've been really high on the Pal Pad lately, especially in Psychic. I feel like, and Lightning sometimes even, right? There's a lot of space for it.
Right.
I do have one.
I do not.
All right.
Again, there's not a lot of Pokemon in the deck. Not like a ton, but there are some. There are Pokemon in the deck.
Oh, I saw them all.
Gosh, I feel like if I hit the Fighting Fury Bell. God.
Do you play Field Blower?
No.
I realized that about halfway through, and I was like, man, there's no Field Blower coming out.
No.
You just hit big.
It's because I hit 220. What do I care about Field Blower, bro?
One time.
Oh, yeah, apparently. Yeah, I'm going to let that chaotic swell stay there next time. Holy smokes, bro.
Yeah, I was like, thank you.
Yeah. Don't mind if you do, huh? Yeah. No, it's a greedy cut, but my thought is if someone puts a luxurious cape on, I'll just gladly take 2 prizes over the course of 2 attacks. And then if someone plays, a card that makes their Pokemon have 200 hit points, like Zamazenta can just knock it out. So who cares?
No, I think that's a good cut for that deck. You hit big. So
you just hit big, so. Okay.
All right.
Good luck.
Take my 1 mulligan. All right, and I will draw for turn. Not a terrible opening. Not a whole lot going on, though. I mean, I can get Hisuian Heavy Ball, so I don't need to worry about checking my prizes. I'll just look at them. Lost City here's already a hot topic of conversation. But I'm not putting him out that early. I could just play the Chaotic Swell and kind of get you from doing anything, but that doesn't feel responsible. So I'm just going to start with Hisuian Heavy Ball. Just not a ton, not terrible. Frostmoth being there's not great. And Wishy-Washy, hitting that 130 in this matchup's not all that helpful. I mean, it came into play last round, but I'm not super keen on making him my main attacker. Unfortunately, at this stage of the game, he's probably coming out, and that's what it's going to be. The rest of those cards are probably fine. Off Heavy Ball, I will get Wishy Washy. Okay. And bench Wishy Washy. Bench Sobble. Attach Water Energy 2, Wishy Washy, and pass to you.
Draw. Okay. I've got a solid opening hand with Guzma, Heatran, Bronzong, and Revavroom. Floatstone as well. And I opened Jirachi, but this is probably going to be a TM Turbo Energized turn. I saw some people in the chat saying, would it be better to play the other Jirachi if you're going to use TM Turbo Energize? You could just simply not Stellar Wish, which is also fine. So this turn, I just won't Stellar Wish. I'll go Turbo Energize, and then I'll Stellar Wish. And I think that you can kind of just pace through things in that way and just, plan things out thoughtfully in a way that you don't shoot yourself in the foot, right? So, let's see what these prize cards, the situation is. Play Guzma and Hala, discard Raihan and Floatstone. Right away, I see that the Technical Machine Turbo Energize is in the deck. That's great. I also want this Artisan to start setting up my board. And the Coating Metal Energy is good too, so... With Guzma, well, I should check my other prizes. All right, fine. We got Varoom, Saucer, Cabalion, Magearna, Celesteela, Bronzor. Cool. That's all I really needed to see. With Guzma and Hala, I'll get Coating Metal Energy, Turbo Energize, and Artisan. Put Artisan into play. Bench Heatran, use Artisan. And with Artisan, I'll bench Varoom out of my deck. Attach Technical Machine Turbo Energize to Jirachi. Coating Metal Energy to Jirachi. And Turbo Energize. Search my deck for 2 basic energy. Attach them to my bench Pokemon in any way I like. I'll go Heatran.
Makes sense. That's a lot to stare down. All right. I'll draw for turn. Superior Energy Retrieval. Very helpful in a situation like this. This is, I've said it before and I'll say it again, one of my best GLC skills is opening all of my recovery cards. And here they are. Not all of them, but quite a few. However, I'm not in a terrible spot. I can gather the crew and Artisan to fill my bench and just kind of say, well, I'm going to hope that I don't get paralleled. So I'm going to start with Artisan, because I don't really mind if you come up next turn with that Heatran to take down Basculin. Unless there's a Gust in that hand, at which point I will be sad. So let's see what we've got. All right, Lapras is in the deck. Arctibax. I should know everybody's here, since only Frostmoth is prized. So we're going to have to get Frigibax. Snob's probably not coming. We're going to have to get Remoraid. And let's see. Sobble's already here. So it's probably just going to be, I mean, Wailmer, if I get the Wailmer too early, That's a pretty quick boss KO from Andrew, I would imagine. But the alternative is, I mean, I need another attacker to start getting ready, so I think that's probably just going to be the play. Off Artisan, I will get and bench Frigibax. I'm going to be a little aggressive, and I'm just going to play Chaotic Swell so that I can avoid the parallel play immediately, and I think it's okay. But from here, I will gather the crew. Just search back out the Remoraid and Whalmer.
Yeah, the Chaotic Swell is so good in water. I mean, preventing the easy parallel plays is really top notch there. And so much better than Brooklet Hill. I mean, look, your board's filled up anyway. Yeah. Draw. Ooh. Very cool top deck. Evolve Varoom into Revavroom and use Rumbling Engine to discard basic metal and draw 4 cards. Well.
Did you draw all metal energy?
I drew quite a few.
Oh.
That's fine. I don't think I'm going to be attacking with Revavroom this game, but I mean, I could. And I don't want to Stellar Wish because I think I just want to aggress, but I could Stellar Wish if I wanted to pause one more turn. Do I think that Craig is going to be able to knock out my Heatran next turn? Probably not. So I think I'm okay just to start rolling. Attach Metal Energy from my hand to Heatran and retreat. That's cool. Iron Hammer for knockouts.
All right. Basculing goes down, and I'll promote Remoraid. Really need a lot of magic off the top deck. All right. Ultra Ball is actually pretty good in this spot. I can get Drizzile, and I can start setting up some other things. So probably going to let the Lost City go down. Don't really want to have to do that, but it's kind of probably the only option right here. Attach Air Balloon to Remoraid. I could take this. I could get rid of both recovery cards. That seems probably dangerous. Ultra Ball. Getting rid of Lost City. And Stretcher. Ultra Ball getting rid of Lost City and Superior. So we're really just going to be getting Drizzile off this search, but I'm going to need to look and see what else I want to find. Ball Guy would be great here, except he's slacking off over there. So not exactly high on my capabilities. Now, I could get Irida off Drizzile, and I already have Baxcalibur in hand. I could get the Rare Candy and Rare Candy into Frigibax and get Octillery and try and draw into energy. That feels a little tough. Could just get Teammates. You did just take a knockout. Got to remember that. Teammates could get me.
Pretty sure Teammates is going to get you almost the same thing that you want. With
Right.
Irida, though, right?
But in Irida,
I mean, you could get the guaranteed energy to attack, but then it's like,
well, if I Drizzile for Irida, I would get, I'd have to get the Rare Candy there. But if I get I would get a. Dang, that's tough. It's like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like the Irida. It's almost the same play as the Teammates, so you might as well play the Irida.
Because it sets up the Octillery.
And you want that, right?
Right. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I got to think a little bit more than just right now. So, off Drizzile. Just kidding.
Where's the Drizzile? Here we
Off
go.
Ultra Ball, I will get Drizzile. Evolve Sobble into Drizzile and use Shady Dealings, and off Shady Dealings, I will get and play Irida. Off the Irida, I will get Rare Candy and Octillery. And shuffle a deck. Yeah, I like the water deck a lot. It is very easy to get lost in the sauce, but it's kind of like solving a puzzle, and it just my brain kind of just gels really well with it. Doesn't mean I win every game, but I like trying to solve the puzzle.
For sure.
I evolve Remoraid into Octillery and use Rare Candy to evolve Frigibax into Baxcalibur. Use Abyssal Hand to draw 4. All right. Getting Professor's Letter there was quite huge. Professor's Letter. Get 2 water energy. Now, unfortunately, I don't take the knockout here. However, neither do you.
Nor do I.
Right. Oh, you've got a stalemate of the big guys.
Our guys are fat, it turns out.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Super Cold, those 2 energies to Wishy-Washy. And unfortunately, though, Wishy-Washy has the capability to flee the scene. He might be fat, but he's also a bit of a scaredy cat. So it would be very unfortunate for me should that happen. But it's where I'm at. Because I can't go up with Baxcalibur, because that would be a knockout. All right. Retreat Octillery. And promote Wishy-Washy and Hydro Splash for 130 and 10 short.
Drop. Okay. It's an interesting situation. Got Versus Seeker off the top of the deck. So I could Goose Hala again. This is the last thing that I want to do. And I've got my Metal Saucer. I just need an S-Ball or a Quick Ball or something to get me another basic attacker out. The Catexwell taking out my Artisan is definitely not cool, man. But that's okay. Could bump the Swell and then kind of move towards getting something else going. It does kind of feel like Revavroom wants to get in the paint this game. And you know what? I'm not going to stop him if he wants to live his dreams and attack with a knockaway attack for 4 energy. I think I just have to allow him to do that.
You could take the knockout if you flip heads.
Oh, but I'm not going to be able to get that many energy on Revavroom this turn. That's true, though. That is true. Okay. And I think I just have to do that. Okay. Because I have to pare this hand down. That or I just Guzma Hala, and I'd like to do a little drawing first, and then Guzma Hala just if I have to. Metal Saucer. Attach Metal Energy from my discard pile to Revavroom. Attach an energy from my hand to Revavroom. And then Rumbling Engine to draw 2 cards. Those are some good ones. Pokegear. And that is great. Find Colress off the gear, and I'll take it. Bench Bronzor, thank God. And Colress for a draw of 7.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, the last thing I wanted to do was Guzma Hala with my Versus Seeker. It's like I only got 1 opportunity to bring a supporter back from the discard pile in this deck. Last thing I want to do is just waste it on a Guzma Hala to pare my hand down. For like nothing really.
Raihan's down already, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna want a Verse Seeker for that at some point. So especially with my saucer going down to the rev room, it's like got to keep some gas in the tank. Finding the Bronzor there was also quite huge. I'll get 7. Playtown map. Bench Cabalion. And I mean, if I do hit a energy onto this Cabalion, it could take a little poke knockout on the Wishy-Washy if it lives. If not, after you take a knockout or two, Revenge Blast will be able to add up onto the Baxcalibur pretty fast. So, because it is weak. So really, you only have to take 2 knockouts. So at 4 prizes, it'll be able to knock out the Baxcalibur. So I don't hate having an extra energy on the Cabalion. Well, that could be a good card later. I'll hold it. Iron Hammer for 160 damage.
All right, moment of truth. I need, make sure, tails. All right, I need a heads. Got to keep it on the table. Get another one. Whew. That was huge, actually, because this hand is all of my recovery cards still. Nessa and Super Rod. All right, draw for turn. Guzma. I don't really know if I need to Guzma anything. Realistically, yeah, okay, if you take the knockout with Cobalion next turn, or anybody, honestly, because you just got to do 20 poke. That's not the end of the world. And unfortunately, with a handful of recovery cards and only a Basculin to get with it, they're going to stay there for now. And I have 5 cards, so I can't draw with Octillery, but I could Hex. How many cards do you have in hand?
I've got 5.
All right. That's, you still kind of, yeah, it's kind of jammed for the Rev Room, but taking the knockout would prevent you coming up with Jirachi and trying to draw a little bit deeper. I think, all things considered, that's probably my spot. Just play Hex and Hydro Splash for the knockout.
Okay, Craig goes to 5, tying it up. And this is interesting, isn't it? Huh. Would love to take this knockout. Promote Revivroom. Draw. Okay. Bench Zamazenta. And Max Elixir. Find Fire Energy. Attach that to Zamazenta. And I'm in a tough spot. I think I need to just get myself to a point where I can accelerate energy back into play. And I'm down some of my gas. I'm down my Metal Saucer. I'm down my Max Elixir. I'm not getting energy attachment from hand right now. So I think I'm probably, if I'm Marnie though, I give Craig just an opportunity to do a lot, and he hasn't been doing a lot. But I guess I don't really know his hand. If I'm Marnie and I find an energy myself, I get another energy into play. That's very good. That or I just like hex and pass, and that just feels pretty bad. So I think I want to pile up more energy in play. I'll bump the parallel, getting rid of Chaotic Swell, and play Marnie.
Okay.
And I'll get 5, and you get 4. Ooh. Evolution Incense for Bronzong. And Nest Ball for Magearna. Now, I think you don't flip.
I think that's correct.
Okay.
Because it says, I've had to read that too.
Yeah.
At the end of your turn, I flip. So it's still your turn. And then until the end of your turn, I have no ability. So I don't flip. I don't believe I flip.
Okay. And then pass to you.
All right. Draw. Yeah, that Marnie was good. I had Guzma in hand. Unfortunately for you, I got the Evo Incense. So, Evolution Incense. We're going to go get Inteleon. I'm probably just going to get that Guzma back out. But then I also have the opportunity to get another trainer card. Because what's better than 2 trainer cards straight out of my deck? I did get the Frostmoth off the prizes, so I could start setting up Snom. Just in case this backs Caliber, whose Metal Weak is going to go down. I would prefer to take the knockout on the Zamazenta, but that energy attached does count for its ability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And realistically, with all this damage on the Wishy-Washy, if you come up with a Retaliate with him, I'm probably okay. So I'm trying to take out that support Pokemon to get rid of that energy acceleration. So everything else in my deck, though, is probably fine to stay there. I have Kyogre in hand, so I could get a little bit more energy into play. So I'm probably going to do that and just get Capacious Bucket off of the Inteleon. So let's find that real quick. There it is. Okay. Off Evolution Incense, I will get Inteleon. Evolve Drizzile into Inteleon and use Shady Dealings for the Guzma and Capacious Bucket.
This is disastrous.
Play Capacious Bucket for 1 and 2. Bench Kyogre and Super Cold 2 energy to Kyogre. Shuffle up. All right. Guzma Bronzong.
Okay.
Promote Octillery. Free retreat with the air balloon. And Abyssal Hand for 2. Super Cold to Kyogre. And Hydro Splash for the knockout.
This is quite bad. All right, flip on your guy.
At the end of your turn.
No, that was hexed. Oh, at the end of my turn. You're right. Okay. Yeah, this is terrible. this is all bad. I've got energy on the wrong guys. My Heatran went down way too fast. I'll draw. Okay. I've got nothing going on in my hand, so save me. Jirachi. And I've got an Arven. But at this point, I've used my Saucer, I've used my Max Elixir, and it's like, I'm going to have to sack another prize. I mean, he's just set up, and he's just going to keep rolling now, which is just so bad for me. And I know that Kyogre will just be able to, like, pinpoint whatever it wants on my board next turn. I do feel like I'm probably a little too far behind already, which is kind of a nightmare situation for us. Let's get the Arven and play it. With the Arven, I can get a Skateboard and Earthen Vessel. Attach the Skateboard to Jirachi, and then Earthen Vessel to discard Battle VIP Pass and get two energy out of my deck. Attach an energy to Zamazenta, Fighting Fury Belt to Zamazenta, and Rumbling Engine to discard a metal and draw 4 cards. I did not find a recovery card for my my poor Bronzor yet. That Hex last turn was pretty disastrous for me. That's yeah, that was so sick. Unfortunately for me. Okay, we'll retreat into Cabalion. And I've got to pass it to you.
All right. Flip for Wishy-Washy. Stay woke. All right. Draw. Energy off the top. Kind of nice. The rest of these cards, not very helpful for me. Play Suing Heavy Ball. See what we have left. We've got Ball Guy, Research, Tantalizer, and Silent Lab. Kind of would like that Silent Lab, unfortunately. I can't grab that with Suing Heavy Ball, so failed the Heavy Ball. Field Blower, your tools. Now I have a decision. I can just take the knockout here with Wishy-Washy, but I have Rope. And with the Field Blower taking out of that tool, it actually means Kyogre can take a knockout on the Zamazenta, which is something that I would be quite happy with. So I think I'm okay to do that. I will Super Cold 1 to Kyogre and then play Escape Rope.
Please, Craig. Please have mercy. Alrighty. Send up Zamazenta.
All right. I will promote the Octillery with the Air Balloon. And Abyssal Hand for 3. I haven't played a supporter, so drawing into the N was nice, but I don't really know if I want to be giving Andrew new cards at this point. I know you've got a big hand there. How many cards are in that hand?
I've got 6.
6. So Reverie-Room's not... You got to thin that hand down again if you want a Reverie-Room. So I might just hold it and accelerate. I'll Super Cold an energy to Whalmer. I think that's what I'll do. Retreat with the Air Balloon off Octillery. Come up with Kyogre and then Dynamic Wave to the Zamazenta for 180 minus 30 for the knockout.
Oh, yeah. All right, Craig goes to 3, and I am in danger. Promote Jirachi and draw. There's the Field Blower. So the Field Blower is used. My energy accelerators are down. Okay. Let's start off with Stellar Wish. Got Rescue Stretcher and Rod, so I can put my guys back into the deck and start to try to do something. I have an Ultra Ball in my hand. I've got Hex, but no valid attackers. So that's not going to do it right now. Let's take the Rescue Stretcher. And play Rescue Stretcher to shuffle Zamazenta, Bronzor, and Bronzong back into the deck. Then Ultra Ball, discard Ultra Ball, discard Hisuian Heavy Ball, and Celesteela. For Zamazenta again. I am in danger. Versus Seeker for Raihan. And I'll play Raihan to accelerate Metal Energy from my discard pile to Reverie and go get a card out of my deck. Oh yeah, I'm in danger. I am out of energy. We'll get Training Courts. Escape Rope.
Can have wishy-washy.
Okay. And I'll Training Courts for Metal Energy, attach it to Revivroom, and this is this is dire. I don't think I can win at this point, but that's okay. I'll knock away for the knockouts and take a shield energy off the prizes.
All right. I'll promote Octillery and draw. I'll start with just a quick Super Colds 3 back to Kyogre. Feel like that's probably good, worst case. I'll Training Court to get one of these back and Super Cold it to Wailmer. Wishy-Washy going down lets me use Teammates this turn. But I don't really think there's anything in my deck that I'm trying to get out right now. I need the Wailord, but I got Dive Ball, so Dive Ball, search my deck for a water Pokemon, and it's just going to be Wailord. Looking at the rest of the cards in my deck, I could get Splash Energy to like try and preserve Wailord if he goes down, but with 3 prizes left, I don't think I'm that worried about trying to do that. Revivroom can take the knockout on pretty much any of my guys if I go up with Kyogre again, if he flips heads. But it's not the worst thing in the world for me right now. So I think off this Dive Ball, I will get Wailord. Evolve Wailmer into Wailord. And play Teammates. I might just get Nessa for next turn. In case Kyogre goes down, I can get it back out kind of quickly. Maybe Nessa and Snom. That way I've got Frostmoth in hand, and I could get it powered up or evolved up the next turn. Otherwise, this is something that I find a lot with my water list, is that late game, there's not that many cards I want other than just energy. So I think off the teammates, I will just get Splash Energy and maybe Rescue Stretcher. Because with Training Court still active, I can get energy back too. So off the teammates, I'm just going to get Stretcher and Splash Energy for next turn and put them into my hand. Attach Splash Energy for turn to Wailord. And retreat off Octillery. Bring up Kyogre and Dynamic Wave Zamazenta.
Okay. Zamazenta goes down. I get to keep my Revavroom. Draw. Okay. What do we got going on here? It's Celesteela time. That's cool. We do have that going for us, if nothing else. And there is a Wailord there. Looking ready to go. Okay. There are 2 prizes remaining. That means Cobalion is doing 3, 6, 9, 12, 150 damage. Good amount of damage. Okay. Let's Lysander Baxcalibur. Ooh, buddy. It's fine. There's a Super Rod in the deck, which I'm going to need to find. And let's Rumbling Engine, discard Shield Energy to draw 4 cards. Man. It's fine. Would have been nice to find the Bronzor there. Trainer's Mail. Get Super Rod. Super Rod. Shuffle back in Celesteela, Zamazenta, and Celesteela, Zamazenta, and let's go a Metal Energy. Quick Ball, discard Bravery Charm to go get Celesteela. Training Court. Get back a Metal Energy. Attach it to Celesteela. Retreat Revavroom. And Moonraker for 160 damage times 2, 320, and the knockout. I'll take Metal energy.
All right. Yeah, Baxcalibur goes down for sure. I'm going to bring that artillery back up, and I forgot that I was trying to get Snom in the middle of that teammates. It's fine. It's fine. Unfortunately, also, that Cape of Toughness makes it so he's living another turn. That's Celesteela there. Draw for turn. Got a lot of cards in this hand, and none of them are going to get me Snom last turn. But I can attach to Wailord, and I can attack for 170, which is 20 short with that Cape of Toughness. However, you are no longer on the magical multi-6 prize turn, so you're going to have to do a lot of powering up for that Celesteela next turn. Attach water energy to Wailord. Let's see, what do I have down? I don't really need any of those guys back yet. So from here, I will play N.
Yes, I feel like I'm learning a lot about this deck, playing against a deck. I haven't tested the water matchup yet. It seems like water can knock out the guys. That's like really easily, actually, which is proven to be a little bit difficult for the metal deck. They're definitely supposed to, soak some hits. I get 3?
Yep. All right. Super Rod and Verse Seeker. Not very helpful for me at this stage of the game since I just used a supporter. And I had Super Rod beforehand, but didn't really want to shuffle any of those guys back in. The training courts, I can get one of those energy back, so I really don't need any of those cards. I could Super Rod to shuffle 1 back in to draw an extra card now. But that feels probably a little greedy, all things considered. Though I do really need that Snom. We'll go for it. Play Super Rod, shuffle up to 3 Pokemon and or basic energy cards. I'm just going to do 1. Okay. And Abyssal Hand for 4. There he is. Bench Snom. Attach Floatstone to Snom. And retreat Octillery to bring up Wailord to do Hydro Pump for 170 and 20 short.
Very good, Celesteela. Draw. All right. What can I do? What is it possible to do? Is there anything that I can do? These are the things that I'm asking myself. Let's take a look at what we got going on over here. The rope, the Guzma. Flowstone's still at large. There's an air balloon. Flowstone's not at large. Okay. A lot of the switch cards are gone. There's a Tate and Liza around. Okay. Very good. Let's go. Training court. Rumbling engine for 2. Bench Bronzor. I don't know that I can stop the Wailord, bro. I cannot stop the Wailord, I don't think. That is tough. Can go. Man, that Wailord is an unstoppable force. Guzma Kyogre. Promote Cobalion. Attach energy to Cobalion and Quick Guard. Cannot be damaged by basics.
By basics?
Yes.
All right. Draw for turn. Fortunately, I do have Verseeker for Guzma in hand, so that's not exactly a concern for me. Sweating a little bit, but this 3 retreat on Kyogre surprisingly is a lot when you don't have a Excalibur up. But I think here, let's see, I'm okay to attach Water Energy to Kyogre, play Verseeker to get Guzma back to hand. Guzma, ooh, you're not really drawing anymore. Guzma the Bronzor.
Okay. My Bronzor, bro.
Go back up with the Octillery, and then Abyssal Hand for 3. All right, and there's Frostmoth. Ice Dance. 1 to Kyogre. Training Court for 1 more energy, and Ice Dance to Kyogre. I think I'm not going in with Kyogre, though, because he's going to be stuck otherwise. So we're going to go Wailord and do a lot of damage to a tiny Bronzor. Hydro Pump.
All right, Bronzor goes down. And, yeah, this is looking like it. I've got Cobalion. Can attach an energy to my Cobalion. And Revenge Blast for 180. Not nearly enough to take down Wailord, unfortunately.
I draw and Hydro Pump for the knockout.
All right, Craig. GG's. You got there. You got there. You got me. I had high hopes for my new metal build, but I think we saw it was no match for the power of that consistent-looking water deck.
Wailord is a behemoth.
Yeah.
And I think he is just the unlimited damage output on Wailord makes it so I'm not afraid of. I mean, okay, I'm a little afraid of those big guys with the tools on them, but in order to attack, he's doing 170, and that's close. It's going to take out all of them without a tool, but if you add 1 more energy the next turn or whatever I need to do, I can take out the tooled little big guys.
And I think in a competition of like big guys, like I'm trying to attack with big basics, your guys are just bigger. I mean, the Wishy-Washy is so annoyingly large. I mean, he's just, and you flipped heads twice. You kept him around.
That first heads was critical for the entire rest of the game, honestly.
Yeah, and that thing sticking around to trade with the Heatran just ended up undoing kind of my early game pressure. And you were able to respond, get a quick Excalibur. And then once you kind of dump the energy into play, you've just got these huge guys that I can't really just target down your energy accelerator because you've already got enough energy in play as it is. And I think that's just the water deck at its best is when it's doing that kind of thing, for sure.
And I think one of the situations I run into a lot is somebody's going to have no tool for retreat or no, I'm going to be out of energy if I overextend a little bit too much. And it's going to be easy to get boss stalled, kind of like with that Kyogre right there. Now, I had what I needed at the time, but without having the field blower, I was able to I wasn't worried. I forgot about it a little bit there, but I wasn't worried about, attaching the float stone erroneously.
Right. It's probably a loophole in the list that I should tie up a little bit. But like I said, this is like my first time really getting to test, a lot, especially into water with this particular metal build. I found that this metal build does a lot stronger against decks that are kind of capped at 160. If I'm playing against a deck like Psychic or Dragon, where they just like cannot hit over that number, then I'm going to be having a better time because some of my guys will stick around for a couple of turns, and then I have an opportunity to load up energy into play. But when you're able to just trade back and forth and force me to find a new attacker every turn, it's that's something that puts a lot of pressure on this particular build. So I think I'm gonna hit the lab and think about this a little bit more, and I'm excited to see where my metal list goes from here. I do have another deck that I'm excited to try out, though.
All right.
My colorless build.
Oh no.
Yes.
All right. Now I gotta think about it.
What do you think you could compete with? The colorless deck.
Man, that Snorlax does a lot of damage.
If it's just water again, just send water.
No,
That's
no,
okay.
no. I gotta try something new. I kind of want to do dark, but that's not. I don't think that's a good matchup. But I don't think lightning is either. It's like maybe I just play psychic.
You could play psychic, or you could play your water deck. I'm good with either of those. You're kind of cooking with water right now.
I might need to like save it for late now.
Save the heat.
Save the
for
heat,
tonight.
right? You know, see how I don't know, because you got. I think I'll give psychic a try.
Okay.
You good with that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm psychic. I think should have a fine matchup. You can shut down my abilities. You've got a lot of options there, a lot of control over the board. I like that.
Not as worried about a high damage output, though the Lost City would have been nice.
All right. So my metal deck, I felt like I kept getting to like the end of the game and I was kind of like out of juice too. It's like I was definitely successfully drawing through the deck, and I feel like I might have like leaned a little too far into like the turbo realm, right? Because you're finding when you try to, put too many of those, those turbo items in your deck, they're kind of empty cards. They don't actually do anything substantial. They can kind of connect the dots and get you to the next place, but they don't actually like. There was multiple times in the series where I was like, I really want a Palpat or a Lusamine. Specifically, a Lusamine would have felt great.
Yeah.
Bringing back stadium cards, bringing back supporter cards would have felt really good. I definitely felt like I needed a little bit more recursion than I was getting currently. So that's something that I'll be looking to add most definitely. I think that just would have made a big difference.
If you could Lusamine for parallel at any point in that set, I would have been destroyed. Honestly.
And potentially counter energy too. I cut counter energy because I was like, well, I just stay winning, bro, because I'm going to take the lead. And I did that game with Heatran, right? But then I didn't have the unfortunately, I was kind of just drawing into my energy there off of Rev of Room. I drew into more energy, couldn't get my Bronzong set up, and wasn't able to kind of like get that pressure of having multiple attackers kind of built up at once. And that's really where the metal deck really thrives, is when you have like Heatran backed up by Zamazenta, like already ready to go. By the time the Heatran goes down, the Zamazenta is just pushed up, and then you're like bringing back the Heatran, and you're just kind of like going with those two back and forth. I do feel like maybe, and that's the thing, is like a card like Bridget or Gloria is just going to get you all those guys early. And I was like looking for the items to go and get me the basics, but I just wasn't able to kind of just flood the board with Pokemon early, which I feel like really would have really helped. So
I mean, I like what you've got going on for sure. I think at first I was a little concerned without any sort of like Magnezone or Clink Clang for your energy acceleration, but honestly, like you were missing it at some points, but like there were not a lot of times where I was like worried about you not getting the return attack.
It's tough because, especially in a matchup like that, it's like you could just hex anyway. So like the hex is so strong, and then you can also pinpoint down my setup Pokemon. So I feel like I just need a way to kind of toss a bunch of energy into play. And then I'm kind of like Frostmoth, right? Yeah. And maybe it is Magnezone, but it's a lot to set up. And I wish, like, if there were two different guys that did it, maybe I'd feel more inclined to like lean that direction. But I mean, the water deck is kind of the perfect Rain Dance deck. Having the Inteleon, having the Octillery, you've got all the pieces that you need to consistently get that engine going.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, not that water was the way to go, but like that.
Oh yeah.
If other decks had half the ability to accelerate energy that water does, like the single stage Frostmoth is
so good. Yeah.
And if one day we'll get a fighting accelerator, I'm telling you.
I
mean,
know.
not a colossal.
There's colossal. There's plenty of fighting. So there's the new
Garganackle, he's huge.
Okay. Colorless versus Psychic. Let's get her done. Heads or tails?
Tails.
It is heads. I will choose to go second.
All right.
Yeah, my decks are coming back with a vengeance, Craig.
Oh boy.
That's right. Yep. Sick and tired of all this losing. No prisoners this time, Craig.
I'm in danger.
Good luck.
All right. You as well. Inkay's coming in strong. Don't worry about it. Draw. Actually, that was kind of big. Necrozma off the top, and I don't really have anything I can do right now. I can attach to the Necrozma that Inkay is at risk of a quick knockout with the the double energies in Colorless, but next turn I've got Iono and Rope to move him should I need to. So I think I'm just going to start off with Heavy Ball, play Hisuian Heavy Ball, and check my prizes. It's an interesting set of prizes. It's just we got Boss, Colress, Evo Incense, Hex, Field Blower, and Fog Crystal. It's not terrible, actually. Fog Crystal, Evo Incense, the Field Blower might come into play. But otherwise, I'm not terribly upset with those. So we'll fail Hisuian Heavy Ball. Bench Necrozma. Attach Psychic Energy to Necrozma. And pass.
Draw.
Very threatening turn 1, right?
I've got an insane turn 1. Battle VIP Pass and Technical Machine Turbo Energize are all right here, baby. Let's go. This is the dream opening. Play Battle VIP Pass, and let's see what we got going on in this broken colorless deck. Got a Rangaroo right there. That's good. I've got Bidoof already in my hand. Lugia, I think I prized Squovit, but that's okay. I need to find an energy. That is the piece I do not have yet. So with Battle VIP Pass, I'll get Lugia and Rangaroo, which I'll put straight onto my bench. But I do have Tate and Liza. If I have to, I can shuffle draw 5. Try to find the energy that way. Bench Snorlax and Bidoof. Play Pokegear. Take the Mallow and Lana. Attach Technical Machine Turbo Energize to Cyclizar and Tate and Liza to shuffle draw 5. Definitely needed energy here. Let me play a healthy amount and Energy Lotto too, so should be able to find it. Unfortunately, my Squovit is prized, so I can't put my hand to the bottom of the deck and instruct with a Rangaroo to really kind of power through in the early turn. So I'm just definitely hoping that we find a basic energy here. Or any energy, really. This is devastation. But I've got the Hisuian Heavy Ball to go get the biggest slacker around, Squovit, out of my prize cards. So it ain't over yet. I can still do a little bit more digging. Bench Squovit. Attach Luxurious Cape to Snorlax. And I'll Nest Dash. Put my hand on the bottom of the deck, and I draw 1 card. And I will instruct to draw 2 more cards. This is devastation.
Oh, no.
And what looked like it was going to be the dream turn 1 turns into a heartbreaker. Pass.
Ugh. I breathe a bit of a sigh of relief off that and draw for turn. Horror Psychic Energy off the top is very nice. Attach Horror Psychic Energy to Necrozma, and if I can get Dimension Valley off this Iono, I'm going to be cooking. Yeah. Play Escape Rope.
You can have Lugia.
Okay. Necrozma goes up. Iono.
Okay, we both get 6.
Mm-hmm. Miss the energy again?
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
All right. I did not get Dimension Valley, but that's okay. I can still barrier attack. And next turn, you're in danger. Otherwise, this hand is okay. I don't really need to bench my Mew from Unbroken Bonds, so I think I just barrier attack for 30.
And you take 30 less damage next turn.
Correct.
Draw. Aha. Okay. It's game time, gamers. I'm feeling kind of reckless. You know? Just sometimes it's like that. Evolution Incense. And with Evolution Incense, I'll get Bibarel and evolve it into play. Play Town Map. It's fine. Get those guys going. And that's okay. I should just, I'm just going to be kind of methodical about this. Just go through the motions. I don't need to kind of do anything crazy. Craig doesn't have a massive board yet, so I can just kind of chill. We'll put Parallel City into play. Attach double turbo energy to my Snorlax and Nest Dash for 1. Instruct to draw 2. Energy Lotto. Take the Twin Energy. And then Trainer's Mail. Take the Lysander. This is part of what makes Colorless just so strong. Is just so much draw, really, in a turn, which is crazy. Once you get the Bibarel and the Squovid and the Rangaroo up, Industrious Incisors for 2. And pass it on over to you.
All right. Draw. Okay, Tink-a-Tink off the top's pretty good. For a while there, I was worried about potentially having to lose my Necrozma that turn, actually.
It was possible.
Yeah, kind of crazy. However, now I'm glad that I didn't, because that Parallel City would have severely limited my bench. Play Tink-a-Tink, and the rest of this hand is not doing a whole lot for me. I would be in a wonderful position if it wasn't for that Parallel, since I do have Clavel. All things considered, I have nothing else to do, so it's probably still going to be Clavel. this is a situation where I would love to get out. I mean, I can thin my deck, but I would love to get out the Marshadow off the Clavel and limit Andrew's hand. Now, I know he took that twin energy off the Energy Lotto, but that seems not responsible with only one deck space or bench space left. So I'm going to still thin things out of my deck, probably the Wobbuffet and Ralts. Mimikyu could come in handy. That's actually a consideration. I could leave the Marshadow in the deck for later. Let's see. Could get the Wobbuffet and shut your abilities off, force you to take the knockout.
You did see me grab Lysander. Just so you know that I do have that.
True. That is true. I did see that. That was at the forethought of my brain. So, probably not going to do that. Probably going to... Honestly, if the Lysander's out, maybe I should just get the Mimikyu and set the Mimikyu up. What do I have in hand? 2 energy. Okay. Off the Clavel, I will get Wobbuffet, Ralts, and Mimikyu. The Copycat Thumping Snore would be very nice, but with only 1 bench space left and nothing really else set up, I kind of want to get the Ralts out so that I can get up into Curlia and start drawing cards, and then eventually get out Gallade and just find whatever support I want. So I think it has to be the Ralts, but that parallel severely limited me. All right. Those go to hand. Bench Ralts. Attach Psychic Energy to Necrozma. And Special Laser for the knockout.
Lugia goes down. Craig takes the first prize. All right. That's good. Haven't seen a Fire Energy yet. Would really love to. That'd be great. Would be the ideal energy to have. I definitely want to just deal with this Necrozma, so I'm going to do that. Promote Snorlax and draw. Ha! Attach Fire Energy to Snorlax. And... yeah, none of this is really doing it for me, so... goodbye, hand. I'll use Nestash for 1. Instruct for 2. And then I'll commit the Bravery Charm here to Cyclizar. I think that's okay. And then Industrious Incisors for 3. Play Nest Ball. I don't think that I really have any more targets in the deck. Nope. And with that, I use Thumping Snore for the knockouts. 160 damage. Snorlax goes to sleep.
20 off, though.
I take 20 from Horror Psychic Energy. And Snorlax stays asleep. We'll take... off the prizes. I'll take Arvin.
Okay. Promote Inkay and draw. Oh, that was a very good top deck. The Cynthia actually could come in very handy. I could find myself in a position to Thumping Snore in return if I can get Malamar off of the Cynthia. kind of don't have anything else, so that might just be the only real approach that I have. Bench Mimikyu. Attach Psychic Energy. I can also get the Dimension Valley, but either or. Attach Floatstone to Inkay and Cynthia. Not going to be taking the knockout unless I also find Field Blower, which would be very nice. But that's asking for a lot of cards off 6 cards.
It is, but it's possible. You find D-Valley Field Blower, it's a 2-card combo.
True.
It's not that bad. And you could find Curly and draw 2 more.
That's true. Rare Candy Tinkaton.
You could draw 3 more. Right? I was saying you're saying there's a chance.
That's one of the things about Psychic. It's one of the decks that always seems to have a chance.
It's one of the things I love about it.
All right. Would you like to cut?
Absolutely not.
Make it my fault.
Yes.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. I have the Malamar. So actually, Goose Hollow I could save for next turn for... I could save the Goose Hollow for the D-Valley to try and get rid of this parallel, but I don't really think I need to do that. Let's start... I'm not taking the knockout without that Field Blower. Playtown map. Oh, that's right. I knew that.
Yes, and the Field Blower. Uh-huh. Yeah. Was never going to be found. All right.
That's fair. Ultra Ball, Goose Hollow, and a Psychic Energy. Get my lovely 4th place Malamar. Could get Curlia, but that feels not smart. Get Malamar off the Ultra Ball and evolve Inkay into Malamar.
Mimikyu's about to go to sleep.
Uh-huh. Psychic Recharge to Mimikyu. Retreat Malamar. Come up and Copycat Thumping Snore for 180. And now I have to flip.
Stay woke, Mimikyu. Dang. All right. And Snorlax has 200 damage on it, but with Luxurious Cape, it still has 50 HP remaining, which is pretty wild. Luxurious Cape, making that Snorlax extraordinarily fat. We'll see if I wake up. I do not. And draw. Okay. I was thinking about grabbing... I grabbed the Arvin off of the prize cards there, just so I had a guaranteed wake up. I could just go grab Rope with the Arvin, if that's something that I care to do. I think that's fine. Hitting the Mallow and Lana, remove 120, would be pretty nasty. Missing the switch altogether would be devastating. So I have to weigh kind of I could go for the Mallow. Hitting the Mallow is like nuts. That's what we want. I've got U-turn board. I can pivot with the Squovit. That's it. That or I'm going Rope. Knocking out any of those bench Pokemon is not terrible. I don't hate it. And you just got a 2-card hand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really want to play any of these other, the Iono or the N out of my hand. Give Craig like a big fresh hand. I know that there's going to be no Field Blower situation, but if I go and take this knockout and Craig's able to return my Snorlax, then he takes 2 and actually takes the lead. So I think it's better to try and hit the active. Yeah, because the Mimikyu will guarantee the Snorlax knockout. if I play the rope. All right, let's rock and roll. Attach U-turn board to Squovitz. And I'm actually not going to attach an energy in case I find therapeutic. Just give me like one more out to wake up this Snorlax. And I'll Nest Dash. Sure. Evolve into Greedent. Instruct for 3. Nice. Tag call. And with the tag call, I'll grab Mallow and Lana. Oh, wait.
Uh-oh.
The Greedent no longer retreats for free. It's fine. This is fine. This is fine.
Calculated.
I've got like this other play, though. All right. Huh. This is... All right. This is wild, but bear with me here. Mallow and Lana, just for the switch, not the heal. Into Greedent. Attach Twin Energy, Industrious Incisors for 4. And Spill Out for the knockout.
All right.
And I'll take Versus Seeker off of my prizes.
Promote Malamar with a Floatstone and draw. Actually, that's one of 2 cards that would have really helped me off the top of the deck. Getting the Glade, I have the Reversal Energy and Raihan in hand. So I can take this knockout and get it. Like, I can use Glade for 1 turn, since I'm going to have to Raihan for the Rare Candy. And that Snorlax is coming up really quickly. I mean, that's about all I got going on, though. So, Raihan, you got 4 prizes left.
I do.
Yep. All right, you just got to do the math sometimes. You never know. Raihan to Tinkatink. Really, honestly, wish it was teammates, because off the teammates, I could get Rare Candy and my own Luxurious Cape to survive the Snorlax return. So, unfortunately, Rare Candy is the only slot that I can do anything with, and I'm probably just going to get Professor's Research to try and draw cards next turn, since I will have a... Well, actually, I'll have a 2-card hand, because I can take a prize card. Yeah, okay. Off Raihan, I will get Rare Candy and use Rare Candy to evolve Gallade into... first try. Off... Play Rare Candy to evolve Ralts into Gallade. Attach Reversal Energy to Gallade and use Buddy Catch. I think that's... So I can either get... I probably need to just get Research.
Probably. I mean, you're going to have a 1-card hand and the Glade's going down.
For sure.
Yeah.
I can preserve the Reversal Energy, though, thanks to Swirling Slice moving it back to the Tinkatink. However, really needed to evolve Tinkatink already. So that's not... I need somebody else next turn, unfortunately. So, Professor's Research to my hand. I will retreat Malamar with Floatstone. And I can Psychic Recharge, but we're going to get the reversal on to the Tinkatank, which is where it needs to be. So there's not really anyone I want to recharge to. So I will Swirling Slice to move the reversal energy to Tinkatank, take the knockout.
U-turn board comes back to my hand.
And I will take Field Blower.
And let's promote Field Blower. Let's promote Snorlax. And draw. Okay. Let's go. This is interesting. Industrious Incisors for 2. Versus Seeker for Mallow and Lana. Play Mallow and Lana to discard U-turn board and Arvin, healing 120 damage. And I'll promote Cyclizar. Then play Escape Rope.
Escape Rope is unfortunate. Goodbye, Tinkatink.
Send up Snorlax and Instruct for 2. Attach Fire Energy to Cyclizar, and I'll Thumping Snore for the knockouts. And Snorlax stays asleep. We'll take the powerful Colorless Energy off the prizes.
Okay. I'll promote Malamar and draw. Oh. Counter Energy off the top kind of solves all my problems. I'm going to start with Field Blowing, Luxurious Cape, and Parallel City. Get rid of those. Attach Counter Energy to Gallade. Psychic Recharge to Gallade. And
it's crazy. You would have been 10 short.
I know.
That's so nuts. I was doing the math. I was like, dang, is that correct? Like, oh my gosh, that Mellow Lotto was so clutch.
Yes, and Horror Psychic's also down.
Yeah.
I could have taken it that way. But yes, I had to do that. Now, I could Buddy Catch for teammates or just draw 7. Surprisingly, drawing 7's good. Though the teammates would get me... I could get like Rescue Stretcher off teammates to try and get Necrozma back out. To push this counter energy to something that could use it. I mean, Mystery Energy is still live, so there is a target to get Necrozma back set up. I might just rip this research and then Buddy Catch after. So, Professor's Research, draw 7. There's teammates anyways. That's okay. The Nest Ball might allow me to start getting somebody else put in play as well. So, play Nest Ball. See what else we have. Andrew's down to 3 prizes, so Mewtwo might actually just be the direction here. Dimension Valley is still live, so I can get that out eventually. And if Gallade goes down next turn, I can Buddy Catch for like Guzma now or something else to have a little bit extra in hand. I have teammates if Gallade goes down, that's fine. If not, I can get the Guzma. So off Nest Ball, I'll get Mewtwo. And I've already attached, so none of these cards are really going to be doing anything for me. I will retreat Malamar, come up, and Swirling Slice, taking the knockout, moving the counter energy to Mewtwo.
Okay, Craig goes to 3. And you can see how impactful not giving up 2 prizes there was. I mean, if Craig's taken 2 here, then he's in the lead, but having to take 1, he's just going to tie it up at 3.
I think I'll take Hex.
Hex, that's fair. Promote Cyclizar and draw. Attach powerful colorless energy to Cyclizar and Raihan to get a fire energy from my discard pile to Cyclizar. And search my deck for Revive. Play Revive to get my boy back.
He never goes away.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, no. Instruct for 1. Industrious Incisors for 2. Let's do Lana's Fishing Rod. I'll shuffle Squovit and Luxurious Cape back into the deck. Palpad. Shuffle Raihan. Just Raihan back into the deck. And then, thanks to that trusty, powerful, colorless energy, I took off the prizes. I can use Driving Buddy for 160 damage, perfect math, to take the KO, and I'll grab Quick Ball off my prizes.
All right. Promote Malamar at that Floatstone and draw. Oh. Let's see. Luxurious Cape off the top puts me in a position to survive a Thumping Snore from Snorlax. However, the next turn, I lose. But that's kind of okay. I have Hex in hand, and that might be kind of problematic. I mean, maybe not. You've already got, how many cards do you have in that hand? 4?
I've got 4, yeah.
So you could draw, you'd have to be able to play those cards to draw more cards. So I'm going to start by searching the deck. I'll just play Professor's Letter. Okay, there's not a ton left in the deck that's going to help me now. I might need to start, like, probably going to have to recycle some guys so, like, I get teammates to get Stretcher to start trying to get something going. Raihan just got added back to the deck, which would make things very problematic if Andrew has a double energy in hand. I think I'll just get the last psychic energy in the deck. I mean, I can go up with Limit Break, and I take the knockout even with the Bravery Charm. And I can attach the energy and just, I might need to just kind of survive a little bit here with the Luxurious Cape. That's, I mean, that's kind of what I like it in this for, is to try and survive here towards the end of the game. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Attach Luxurious Cape. Attach Luxurious Cape to Mewtwo. Psychic Recharge to Mewtwo, even though counter is live. Well, no. I need that anyways.
Yes, you do.
Thought I had D-Valley off the teammates. So, Psychic Recharge to Mewtwo. Attach the energy for turn so that next turn the counter energy is not as much of a problem. Play Hex. Retreat. And Limit Break for the knockout.
Oof. Yeah, this is a big play. I mean, the Hex 180 knockout on Cyclizar. No abilities for me. Yikes. Here comes Snorlax. Draw. Nothing like a perfect top deck. Huh. Okay. Raihan. Fire energy from my discard pile to Snorlax. And I can attack, then I'm going to get knocked out next turn. Then I just simply need to get another attacker going. Sure. That's fine. Off Raihan, I'll get the double colorless energy and attach it. Okay. And quick ball, discard Professor's Research. And this is going to be a close one. Just no matter which way you cut it up. Resources are limited. I need to recover some guys. The Hex is like, I mean, these Hex Maniacs have just been so impactful every time that card gets played. It is huge. But thankfully, with the Raihan there, I am guaranteed a swing. So that's good. Then if I can find the Field Blower, I guess it's actually better to just knock the Mewtwo out, which is also possible, funny enough. Okay. With Quick Ball, I'll get Squovit. Oh, this is hilarious. Okay. And Thumping Snore for 180 damage. Snorlax goes to sleep and stays asleep.
All right. Draw. Now, I'm in an awkward spot. You don't have other attackers live, but I was really hoping for some sort of draw card, and I could have got the Colress off the prizes and Colress for 4, but that doesn't feel better. I have Scoop Up Net in hand. So the thought process is I could scoop up the Mewtwo, get rid of the Luxurious Cape and the damage, put him back down, Psychic Recharge, and I have an attachment, except I needed the Guzman Hala, or a way to the D-Valley. Guzman Hala's down, so I needed some sort of card. Honestly, if you'd taken a knockout on the Malamar, I could have got the D-Valley then, but I wouldn't have been able to charge up the Mewtwo. So it's not... We're kind of just saying I have to live a 50 hit, 50 damage attack. And let's see, Raihan's down again. You've got 3 energy requirements on both those guys, although the Field Blower would just take this knockout, and then you could probably attack for another. Whew. This is a toughie. I'll search with Evolution Incense.
Oh yeah, this is a good game. I mean, it's really close.
Yeah, I'm not really getting anything out of this right now. I guess I could potentially, let's see, do I have any ball cards left? I got Quick Ball, which is really what I need. Level Ball. I could get Giratina, but that doesn't set up anything for the next turn. It's probably going to be a Lusamine situation. Because if Mewtwo goes down, that's game. None of these other cards are really going to get me anywhere. I could Quick Ball. You got what? You got 2 cards in hand, right?
Yep.
I could get the Marshadow. That feels really greedy. But the rest of these cards aren't helpful either. All right. Off the Evolution Incense, I'll just take Tinkatuff. Man. It is the Thinker.
It is. I'm curious to see what you do. I don't have it guaranteed either way, so I have no idea. We'll have to see how things go.
I know. That's where it's getting a little tough. I mean, if Mewtwo goes down, that's game. So let me see what I would get off Lusamine. I don't think...
Not clearing the Snorlax is probably also game.
Well, I have to get rid of the Snorlax.
Right.
Right.
And I don't think you can heal the Mewtwo and clear the Snorlax. You just cannot do that, right?
No.
It's not happening. So
I needed D-Valley off the top. If I top decked the D-Valley, you would have been done for. No, I don't... But I don't...
top deck the D-Valley off the top, I'm sick.
Yeah. I could... I mean... Yeah, I think it's just... I can Lusamine this turn and get back, like, Hex and Goose Hala to, like, guarantee it. But that's just kind of buying a turn for the sake of playing a supporter at this point. So I'll just play Lusamine. Get Hex. And Guzman Hala. Okay. Attach a Psychic Energy to Malamar, just in case you Field Blow or Stick me. And I'll recharge to Malamar. Limit Break for 180. Taking the knockout, and I'll just take Colress.
Snorlax goes down. And now I have a really interesting decision to make. My hand is Mela and Guzma. I've got some single energies left in the deck. I have no double energies left in the deck. I've got all 3 of those down. However, I do have Special Charge in the deck. So I could win the game with Rescue Stretcher, Greedent. I could win the game with Raihan or Mela to a Rangaroo, and then find my Special Charge, then draw into a double energy and knock out the Mewtwo with Psychic. Either way, I am looking at needing to find a one-of card in my deck, probably off the Mela. It's either going to have to be Special Charge for the Oranguru, or it's going to have to be... I think I'm confident going with a Squovit play, because even if I find the Field Blower, I mean, the Malamar, there could be an attack next turn, definitely. Not from the Malamar, but from a game-winning attacker. I mean, you find D-Valley, Rescue Stretch, or something like that, and Mewtwo could come right back and just win the game. I think there's a float. I think there is a float stone in my deck. No. I think there is a float stone in my deck. Okay. So that's fine. Yeah, we send Squovit. Draw. Well, it's 100% correct to Field Blower. Well, yes. It's 100% correct to Field Blower. So that I could draw another card with Mela. But I don't think it's correct to Field Blower the Luxurious Cape and take a knockout. Because then I jam my hand one more card, right? And I draw less cards. So, what's up?
Oranguru takes the knockout on the Malamar if you Field Blower.
Yes, but then...
True.
Yes, but then I draw one less card off Mela and maybe risk, like, have a...
Well, if you get rid of that, you take the knockout.
Just get rid of this. Would be so I draw more cards. So that what I'm saying there
you'll
is...
take the prize.
I will not if I just Field Blower the Floatstone, right?
Right. He's only got 90 and 2 energy.
So what I'm saying is that I give myself one more card to find the game-winning combo off of Mela if I don't take this knockout. If I take this knockout right now, it doesn't matter because I forced to take a prize, you promote Malamar, and then I draw one less card off Mela.
Oh, I see. Because you don't want that.
These are unplayables. Yep.
I understand.
So I think I'm going all in. I'll Field Blower the Floatstone, keep the Mewtwo. Oh, baby. What have I got myself into? Mela. To Squovit, and I will draw 5 cards. Okay. I think I have it. Rescue Stretcher for Greedent. Rescue Stretcher for Greedent. Hold on. This is, I think it's not guaranteed because I have to have 5 cards in hand. All right. Oh, hold on. Ultra Ball, discard Lysander and Guzma. Okay, I've got 2 energy in the deck, which is fine. So I have to find one. But these are all playables, so that's good. Okay. Ultra Ball away those 2 and fail it. Okay. How much HP does Mewtwo have left?
50.
Oh. Then I'm chilling. I thought it was 60. 50? Oh, this is way different. Attach Floatstone to Bibarel. Acrobike. Discard Hexmaniac. Instruct for 1. Attach Rescue Stretcher. Greedent. Industrious Incisors for 4. And Spill Out 210. GG's.
GG's.
Whew. Woo! Greedent!
He got in there.
He did. Yo, I spilled out twice that game, bro.
That's crazy.
Twice. 210? 210, bro. I think the Greedent just it's a one-of card that you can play in the colorless deck, and I feel like it just gives your deck an option that it just doesn't have otherwise, right? And I think that I like thinking about the gradient that way, that it's not like the A plan, it's another plan that I have just as like it's an extra tool in the box that you can summon, like when your back's up against a wall and you need to just crank out 200, like you can just do that, right?
Yeah. And honestly, even if you had powerful colorless, you could have taken a one-hit knockout on a caped Mewtwo right there. So, I mean, it's a good card. I think it's definitely like you could get yourself into odd situations early, like the potential to lose the nest stash. But I think that's fine. You're right. Like, it's a one-of card, and he does 210. You know, and with B-Barrel, you have such an easy out to have 5 cards in your hand. It's just, you can dump those. Usually it's fine.
Exactly. And it's like, it's not something that you usually want to do in the mid-game. I did it in the mid-game because I was just like, well, it's kind of here. The play's here. It's fine. But I think that play is reserved for the play that I just did there at the end of the game, where it's like, okay, you know, I got one knockout left to take, and like there's guaranteed the Squovit's like always around.
Right.
So like you can just throw the Squovit up. He's agreed it now. Here we go. Blammo.
Yeah.
And was able to take it. And that was without playing Special Charge. The Special Charge was just at the bottom of the deck. I never got to play it.
I forgot you were going to need to get the Special Charge and get into the other ones to take it with that was because I was thinking if you took the knockout, I would be left with the Malamar, and then like you would hope that I'd have nothing. But like then you're banking on a little bit more.
And you just like Lusamined, and I was like, yeah, he could probably whoop up a play.
I didn't get Raihan. I immediately was like, man, I probably should have got the Raihan.
Right. No, that was a really good close game. I think we had like just 3 really good close thinkers today, and I think all 3 of those games were like, I think we're just like really good representations of the decks and what they can do. This Psychic versus Colorless was like really neck and neck. I mean, really came down to the wire there. You're seeing how much of Gym Leader Challenge format now. I mean, there's a lot of tool metagaming. There is a lot of tool metagaming.
Yeah, that startling megaphone's starting to look a little bit more enticing every single day.
Right. And and that's the thing about like metagaming is like when you know your opponent's only got 1 tool removal card, you can plan around that. It's when the second one comes out that you're like, I did it. They caught me slipping, right? I didn't know that was going to come. Ben Morse at our league has been playing the second.
The Lost Vacuum. That's where I'm like, man, maybe U-turn war is not as good as it once was. I'll just go back to the field or floatstone. They're going to get rid of it anyways.
The Lost Vacuum is kind of cool because it lost. So like Lusamine doesn't get the D Valley back if you vacuum it.
It's gone.
Yeah, gone, which is cool. And similarly, like if you are worried about your opponent going Lusamine parallel, like you can vacuum the parallel. It also is just giving you another out to get rid of a card like Chaotic Swell. But, getting those kinds of cards jammed up in your hand and opening them feels really bad.
Yeah. I'm very familiar with that. But yeah, no, it's so hard because like, I mean, it's starting to fill that slot with the Enhanced Hammer where it's like, if I'm going to put one of those in the deck, a second tool remover, the Enhanced Hammer, I'm probably going to lean towards Enhanced Hammer depending on how things have been going lately. I just think you still are going to find yourself in a bad spot if you open Enhanced Hammer and your opponent doesn't have any special energies, but they're both like really good cards that can completely swing the tide of a game. And it's sometimes you got to make some cuts like that.
Exactly. I mean, we saw that game was pretty much decided by the tool on the Snorlax, it hanging around for a turn, then getting healed.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Then you only taking 1 prize on it. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Anyways, we had some really good games today, Craig. 3 good ones. Definitely proud of the outcome of those. I think that really showcased some of what makes Gym Leader Challenge such a fun format to play. After those games with the metal deck, I'm like, man, I gotta get back in the lab. Okay, I gotta get back in the lab. I'm not done cooking yet, which is just so rewarding and fun. It never closes. It never does. We've got Gym Leader Challenge League coming up in 52 minutes. So Craig and I are going to get ready for that. I'll let you guys know how Gym Leader Challenge League ends up tomorrow. I'm going for my 6th badge. And Craig going for your...
Second.
Yes, and you'll get there, Craig. You'll get there.
One of these days.
Yes, for sure. So we're going to be competing for our badges tonight, and very excited about that. Thank you all so much for tuning in for this afternoon presentation of Tricky Gym. Huge thanks again to you, Craig, for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, man. You guys all have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. Later.